Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Rob Mazak. I am a psychic medium, and I do a lot of podcasts. And this is a new mic. I'm not sure exactly if it's the same quality. We're going to give it a go and see what it sounds like. From my perspective, with my headphones on, it seems a bit different. However, you guys will have to let me know. So what I usually do is start with some ideas and not script anything. Just run off of speaking from the heart and see where we go with the conversation, or my conversation at least. I do actually do interviews with other people. I actually have only done one. Just recently did one. It was a lot of fun. A lot more editing than doing it for myself, it seems. But it was a really pleasurable experience. So if there's anybody out there that would like to be interviewed, you can let me know. My information will be talked about at the end, as usual. You can reach out to me. We can discuss if that's something that we align with and you would like to do. So today, I would like to talk about persistency, consistency, goals, and dreams. I know that's a really big subject, but the last podcast I did, if you listen to that, it was about me struggling with a soccer team that was very toxic that I was playing on. Much different than the other teams that I was playing on. It really brought me down. It really pushed me to rethink my goals that I have for soccer. I'm an older guy, but still, big dreams. Big dreams you should chase, because what you become in the pursuit of dreams is really the goal. No pun intended, because I'm a goalkeeper. But it's not so much achieving the goal, but what you learn and become along the way, right? But I was really beating myself up for a while, because I believe in consistency and persistency and sticking with something and not necessarily giving up. And it was a real struggle for me to decide to actually and finally quit that particular team. And now I'm on a new team, and it's just so much better. I'm still getting challenged. I'm still getting the same amount of workout, the same amount of action in the goal, probably more, actually. And I'm doing so much better is because I don't have that negativity surrounding me every day, every game, all the time, before, after, during, everything like that. It was just really tearing me up. We all hit those places, right? We all hit those places in life, or times in life, where we begin to doubt whether the dream we are chasing or the goal we're going after is actually worth it. And, we have to look at it a little different way, I believe. Let's just say you're getting in your car. Plug the address of where you're going into your GPS, your phone, or whatever device you have that helps you navigate. And normally it might take you a very straight to the point way, very direct route. But sometimes along the way, there might be an accident, a road closure, or something of the sort that your GPS will then have to redirect you in order for you to get to your goal. Now, your idea of getting there might have been, taking 15 minutes, and might take 30 minutes because of the detour or the accident or something like that. However, you still get there. It doesn't mean you give up on getting there, especially if you're going to somewhere you actually need to go, like work or the grocery store or the bank or something like that. So why do we think that just because we run into a roadblock in life along our journey of striving for our goals that we just need to quit? That seems kind of silly. However, we are all human beings. I fell prey to it. I was really struggling with that. I did actually think many times leading up to the process of finally leaving that team that maybe this goal was just a little too big. It was just impossible, too old. But I had to remind myself many times in this decision-making process of what I just told you guys, that achieving or chasing a goal is not about actually reaching the goal most of the time. yes, it's great if we get there, but once we get there, once the challenge is over, you really don't want to settle either. So making something or a dream or a goal so big that it's almost impossible to reach is probably a much better idea, because it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you sharp, it keeps you trying, keeps you pushing, and making sure that you are actually committed, moving along and learning something and doing something meaningful with your life. There is a time to allow the GPS of life to redirect you in a different way. Because if I'd have stuck with that team, maybe I would have gotten closer to the goals I have or the desires I have for soccer. However, beating on that door, same door every week, over and over, just did not seem like it was going anywhere. Taking risks is not about blind faith, just plowing through all the time. Yes, we need to struggle. Yes, we need to push through things. But there does come a point sometimes in our life that we simply have to make decisions and detours. In the process, we have to be careful that we're not losing sight of the goal or the destination we are trying to reach. Because if we do that our whole life, we're going to end up absolutely nowhere. Now, that's some people's idea of a good life, I suppose. I don't know about you, but I like to push myself. I like to really stretch my ideas, stretch my goals, stretch basically everything, stretch my mind, and push to new limits as much as I can. Now, do I do everything 100%? Not necessarily. I mean, I could and I should. And I'm talking as if I'm Superman, but I'm not. We don't always push to the limits that we actually can. Because there's been studies done, and I hear it all the time in motivational podcasts and through different articles and videos that I have researched, is that when you think you are maxed out, or let's talk about it physically. When you think you are maxed out, you can't take another step, you can't take another breath, you really are only at about 40% of your capacity. So if we're leaving 60% of our efforts on the table or on the field when we leave, then wow, why are we there? And we all fall prey to that. I mean, I do it too. I probably push it more than most, and I've done that my whole life, and I guess that's just the way I'm wired. I don't think there's many people out there that can say that they've been all in on anything in their life. Now, I can say that about some parts of my life where I've been completely all in, nonstop, never quit. That was during my personal journey long ago when it was time to change. And I put 9 months to a year into that all the time, every day, every second. Now, if I did that with every bit of my life, then I would definitely be a lot further on my goals, I'm sure. So here I am talking to you about these things, but I'm also talking to me because I got to remember that life is short. When you're 64 like me, the average age limit of the human body is not that far away in most cases. Personally, really want to get busy on the goals that I have not reached or the goals that I have not strived for. And it doesn't matter what age you are, to be honest, because nothing is truly impossible. I mean, there may be a thing or two, like I've said before, learning to fly, physically fly as a human like a bird would, well, maybe not. I get that. And age does get looked at in a lot of ways, especially in sports, as a very limiting factor. But that doesn't mean that we should stop trying. Many people have become successful in their older age. Many people have become successful at a very young age. And I don't know, what is the real difference? I think it's just mentality and belief. I mean, belief in what you're doing is absolutely paramount. I'm talking about the kind of belief, you've probably heard me say this, kind of belief that comes just like as if you pop onto Amazon, you order something, and you absolutely know it's going to show up. You click the button, boom, gives you a delivery date, and it's going to show up. And, it may not exactly arrive on time, but you know it's coming. And you don't sit there and reorder it 500 times because you don't have any belief it's going to show up. It's going to cost you a lot of money, obviously. But we do that a lot with our goals and our aspirations and our affirmations. It's because we keep repeating them over and over again, keep asking for the same things as if we have no belief in it. And it just really doesn't always equate to goal reaching and dream reaching. And I don't know if I have the exact answer as to how you develop a belief that strong in something, but I can tell you that developing a belief can be done through a number of ways. One of the ways that I do that is through visualization and meditation. Visualization is absolutely the most powerful tool that we have. So if you want to develop a dream or a goal or an idea of where you want in life, if you were to sit down every day, find a quiet place, relax, visualize in your mind, play the movie in your mind of exactly how you want the scenario to play out for your dream or your goal. I've done this many times. I can talk about an example here in a second. That is important because the subconscious, which really runs our life, is where all the programming is inserted and hardwired and just happens automatically for us. It does not know the difference between what you imagine in your mind and what is actually happening in your reality. Now, I say this a lot in a lot of my podcasts, but it is super important that we have to be careful. We have to mind our thoughts as much as possible because we are talking to every cell in our body, including our subconscious, and every part of our body listens. And so Joe Dispenza does equate the body to the subconscious. So in a way, it is very similar, I believe. However, you can believe it however you want. The conscious mind being that 5 to 10% that we have actual control of. Like right now, I'm talking to you into this mic, and I'm processing that through my conscious mind. But my subconscious mind is what does all the automatic things. Like, I don't have to learn to drive again every day. Well, some people do. Of course, if you live in Austin or San Antonio, you would think that they do need to. However, we don't have to learn to walk again unless we've had an accident or some other issue. There's a lot of things we just simply do not have to relearn because it's a hardwired program. Now, that is a beautiful thing in many ways, right? But the problem with that belief and the visualization is it's very difficult to overwrite that hardwired subconscious programming in a lot of ways. It is not impossible. It just takes work. It takes time. You don't lose 100 pounds in a couple weeks when it took you 2 years to gain that 100 pounds or whatever. It's going to take time. It's the same thing with trying to retrain your subconscious. It does take effort and consistency and persistency. And am I entirely good at it? No, probably better than most. I do find myself drifting away from that consistency. It just depends really, I think, on your dedication and your motivation and your desire to have a different outcome in life. Like for me, what really started this whole reigniting my efforts towards training in soccer and realigning my goals and the reasons why I'm doing all these things was that exact action of having to leave the team. I had to go through all those processes, I believe, to really push me and drive me towards digging in and deciding that no, it doesn't matter what that team did for me mentally or didn't do for me mentally. It is about me pulling up my boots, right, and putting them on and getting busy again. It doesn't really matter what people say, what people think, how they feel. I can tell you right now, if we are judging our life by the beliefs of others, how they feel about us, what they will think about us, all of that will completely lock us down and limit us with moving forward in life. Because it really doesn't matter what other people think or how they feel. It really doesn't. Now, there are times when it kind of matters. I get it. If you have a job and you feel like your boss is a real dirtbag and it's just really toxic and, you would just as soon punch him in the face. Well, you can't necessarily just walk off and shrug that off because you need money. I get that. But there are ways to change your life that can be done within negative situations. But there is that fine line where you do have to walk away sometimes. Like in the example of my soccer team, I just simply had to walk away. But it took me into more of a negative motivation almost. It took me into a negative motivation that eventually drove me to a positive motivation. Motivation can come in lots of ways. It can come, it can go. But the thing is, if you really want something in life or some things in life, I wouldn't choose too many to put 100% of effort into because you can't chase all those rabbits and catch all of them. Sometimes we have to limit our vision to one or two things that we can put a lot of effort into and chase that rabbit down and catch that rabbit, hopefully, or get a lot closer to it before we actually start diversifying. Because I fall prey to that too. I like to do lots of things. I want to be good at everything. I want to be involved in things. I like to be busy. But the thing that I found, especially when I started my business doing the psychic and mediumship work and all the other services, was I was really doing too many things or offering too many things. And I had to really eventually listen to the experts out there that had to help me hone that down and bring that in a little bit. Because I was going after all kinds of training. I was trying to learn new things. I figured if I could have tons of services that I'd have more customers. Well, it doesn't necessarily work that way, right? But also, it's very difficult to become an expert or a professional at many things at the same time. I knew an officer when I was in the military long ago that was a linguist, and he actually decided that the only way he was going to learn, the Korean language, that he was going to go 100%. So he completely shut the world out, absolutely everything. He embedded himself into the culture, just dug in for an entire year. And now you can not tell the difference between him and a native Korean. At least that's what the Koreans tell me. I don't speak Korean well enough to know that. He says, "Do you remember 1979 or whatever it was?" And most of us don't. He says, "Well, I don't either because I was completely focused and driven to learn something." Now that he did that, he would be considered what most people would say is an expert linguist in the Korean language. That's the kind of dedication I think we really need to put into something if we really, really want that. Now, I'm not saying you need to shrug off all your other duties and completely become irresponsible with life or make erratic decisions or just go crazy. That's not really what it's about. Taking risks means to me that you are going outside of your comfort zone. Something that is not comfortable in order to grow. You cannot grow as a human being or any kind of being unless you put yourself through the trials, through the motions, through the chaos, through all of that. That has to happen in order for you to become a different product at the other end of that or along the way. It's very simple if you think about it. If you're going to create diamonds, for example, or diamonds started as a lump of coal, right? And it was subject to great heat and great pressure for a lot of years. But at the end of that, it is one of the most precious elements we have on this planet. And I use that example a lot. There's plenty of other examples. We have to get out of our own way. And I'm talking to myself too, because we all do it. We're human beings. We have emotions. We have that programming that is within us, especially through the subconscious, which comes around through the way we were raised, our culture, the beliefs that we are led to believe in, the perceptions that have solidified, and it just makes us who we are. The problem with that, being individual, is just fine. To be like no one else is perfect. But the thing is that a lot of that programming is so automatic we don't even know it. We don't even realize why we keep finding ourselves in the same stupid jobs or in the same kind of relationships. It's because the energy of the subconscious is seeking out everything in your reality to support the hardwiring and the beliefs that are instilled within the subconscious. We have to change on purpose in order for change to happen. Because if we don't, we're going to look down the road 15 years or back 15 years, and we're going to see that nothing has changed. Everything is the same. Everything's different or not different. And I don't know about you, but I don't know that I want that. I love consistency and persistency, but at the same time, I like change. I accept change. It's the only way to get anything done in life. You have to change something. It's that simple. It is very hard for us human beings to change, though, because we feel like we need validation, we need acceptance from the social norms. We will look at Facebook and Instagram and all the different social media, and everybody appears to have these wonderful lives, and we tend to measure ourselves against what most of the time is probably a false representation of other people's lives. And even if we are adoring celebrities or people that have really become successful, we don't know what struggles led them to become who they are. And it's easy to get wrapped around the fact that we could never, ever achieve that. Or we think that it's really easy. We can just do a few things. We can find the next magic pill, the next magic course, the next book, and show up and everything will be great. Well, it doesn't necessarily work that way, does it? That is why the self-help section of any bookstore is probably the biggest selling part of the store. Is because most of us just keep seeking more and more ideas and ways to escape doing the work. We have to do the work, people. There's just no way around it. We have to struggle. We have to strive. We have to push ourselves. And of course, we have to do that within the parameters of our other responsibilities. Now, that makes it pretty hard, doesn't it? Especially if you have a family, right? And that family is relying on you to produce money or income or take care of the house, take care of the kids, or whatever that responsibility or responsibilities are. Those tend to become our excuses, and we don't necessarily find the time to do the work and to work towards those goals. But I guarantee you, if you were to break down your day and look at everything you did by time, you would find that you are wasting a lot of time. scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through social media or any of that, binge watching TV, watching the football game. Well, most of those are 4 hours long, right? I get it. Relaxing is great. And those things are really fun to do. And they're kind of turn your brain off and get you away from the worries of your day and your world. But there's time for that when you become more successful. Most of the successful people out there have found the time, made the time is a better way to say that. If you actually even just spent another half an hour or an hour towards something, some goal in your life each day, you would be amazed how much that would add up in time. And time is something we all have in common, right? Every single person on this planet, this reality, has 24 hours every day. Elon Musk, who's like a multi-billionaire, probably a trillionaire, and the bum on the street that doesn't have anything, they have the same 24 hours. Now, what is the difference? Well, that really is between the ears, isn't it? It's that processing that happens in your mind and your brain. And we're not going to debate on what that is all about. We have to start living on purpose. We have to live on purpose and not just waking up like an accident and allowing life to happen to us. We should be happening to life because we are here, once again, for a very short time. Even though it might feel long, it is not. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be one of those that wastes my life and not accomplish things. Now, don't get me wrong, I have accomplished a lot. I look back at my life and I have done some really great things and accomplished a lot of things and done things most people will never get to do, never have the opportunity to do. And I am not unhappy, but we should not sit around and shine up our old trophies. We should go out and seek new trophies. We should go out and find new ways to be creative and search out new goals, climb new mountains, do something that we haven't done. We must get out of our comfort zone and do something different. I'm not telling you what to do. I am making strong suggestions. And I'm also reminding myself that I need to go past that 40% of what I think is the limit of my emotions or mental capacity or my physical capacity. We all got to quit being lazy with ourselves, lazy with our goals, and actually put the time in, make a plan, doesn't have to be fancy, work towards that goal or goals every day in some capacity, in some way. Me sitting here talking behind this mic is one of those goals because I love to spread the word of what I've learned in life, what my clients have taught me, and all the training that I've been through and life experiences. So here I am doing it. Now, am I the world's best at it? No, but it's getting better all the time, in my opinion. And I want to continue to grow in that. I want that to flourish. I want to be better speaker all the time. I am always finding ways to do that differently and to discover new things about myself in this arena. I will go ahead and wind this up. But I want you guys to remember that you have everything you need from the moment you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night. Everything you need, you have. And you can do anything you want. You just need to make a decision to do that and then begin to work towards that. Otherwise, life will be just life. I encourage you guys to go to my website at lifebymazak.com. LIFEBYMAZAK.com, and there's a contact page. You can figure it out. Hey, hit me up. Let's talk about these things. Let's see if we can get you on the right path. And I will learn from you. You'll learn from me. And I look forward to hearing from you. You will hear from me many, many times. Stay strong and live your life.